Tragedy! Tragedy!
Macbeth and Othello,
Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet,
King Lear.
William Shakespeare.
One of the most popular plays ever written, Hamlet has been made into a movie more than 25 times, has been the subject of parodies, has been produced entirely in mime, and the title character has been performed by women. The possibilities of the play's production and interpretation seem to know no limits.
To beat or not to beat? The All-Food Hamlet Review.
Aha! I am Claudius the King. I rule the entire kitchen.
Take that, Claudius, you foul vegetable.
I bleed. I die. I make a good base for spaghetti sauce.
Here cracks pepper on a noble Hamlet and Swiss.
Hamlet is Shakespeare's longest tragedy, so we'll just hit the highlights of the play in our synopsis.
The plot of Hamlet.
The major characters are Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, son of the late king, Claudius, the newly crowned king of Denmark, and Hamlet's uncle, Gertrude, Queen of Denmark, widow of the late king and now wife of Claudius, Polonius, a counselor to the king, and his two children, Laertes, his son, and Ophelia, his daughter, who is also Hamlet's girlfriend. Then we have Horatio, Hamlet's friend, and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, school chums of Hamlet. Finally, there's Fortinbras, the Prince of Norway.
A spirit is haunting the walls of Elsinore, the royal castle of Denmark. Several sentries have seen a strange apparition whom they believe to be the ghost of Prince Hamlet's father, the former king of Denmark. The sentries agree to tell Hamlet what they've seen.
Now, Hamlet's uncle Claudius has become the king of Denmark, and he's married the former king's wife, Gertrude. Gertrude is also Hamlet's mother, so Hamlet's uncle is now his stepfather. Hamlet is greatly sorrowed by his father's death and angered by his mother's hasty marriage. Now, the sentries tell Hamlet and Hamlet's best friend, Horatio, about the ghost. Hamlet is intrigued, so they all go out to the walls that night. There, the ghost speaks to Hamlet alone. The spirit claims to be Hamlet's father, the former king. Further, the ghost says that his brother, Claudius, killed him while he was sleeping by pouring poison into his ear. Finally, the ghost tells Hamlet that he must avenge this murder, and Hamlet swears to it.
One of the subplots concerns this guy Fortinbras, the Prince of Norway. It turns out that his father, the King of Norway, was killed in battle. Guess who did it? It was Hamlet's father. So Fortinbras is another son who is in the position of having to avenge a slain father. Fortinbras doesn't really appear much in the play, but he's an important figure.
In Act 2, Hamlet wants to deflect Claudius' suspicions about him, so he pretends to be insane. The king has this advisor, Polonius, who believes Hamlet's madness to be love sickness. You see, Hamlet had gone out with Polonius' daughter, Ophelia, but Polonius forced her to break up with Hamlet, so Polonius thinks the separation may have caused the young prince's madness.
Two school chums of Hamlet, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, arrive at the castle. Now, they pretend to support Hamlet, but they're actually there to spy on him for Claudius. At about the same time, a group of actors arrives, and Hamlet persuades this company to perform a play for court that night. They agree, and Hamlet says he'll give them a few extra lines to insert in the play, lines that Hamlet will write. Hamlet does this because he's a little suspicious that the ghost may have lied to him. Hamlet's idea is to get the actors to put on a play that reenacts his father's murder. Hamlet will watch Claudius. Remember, he's the new king, brother of the former king, and new husband to Hamlet's mother, to see how the king reacts. If Claudius reacts guiltily, Hamlet will know whether or not he committed the foul murder. Later on, Claudius and Polonius spy on Hamlet as he speaks to Ophelia. This conversation clinches it for him. The young prince seems quite insane. Hamlet berates, then rejects Ophelia, who is quite distressed by Hamlet's behavior.
That night, the players perform a scene that mirrors the good king's death. As Hamlet watches, Claudius becomes distressed and leaves hastily. Hamlet is now positive that Claudius killed his father. Hamlet goes off to see his mother, Gertrude, but on the way, he sees Claudius alone and defenseless. Now is the perfect opportunity to avenge his father's death. Hamlet hesitates, however, because he sees that Claudius is praying. Hamlet believes that if he kills the murderer now, Claudius will go to heaven. But Hamlet wants him to go to hell, so he leaves Claudius unharmed.
As Hamlet speaks to his mother in her room, Polonius hides behind a curtain and eavesdrops. Hamlet hears a sound behind the curtain and thrusts his sword through it, thinking it's Claudius. Polonius falls dead. Seeing that it's not the king, Hamlet begins to upbraid his mother for her marriage to Claudius. The ghost appears to Hamlet and tells him to exact his revenge on Claudius, not on Gertrude. Gertrude, seeing her son Hamlet talk to thin air, thinks her son has truly gone off the deep end.
The king hears about Hamlet killing his spy Polonius. He immediately sends Hamlet to England with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern along with a letter. This letter instructs the English to kill Hamlet when he arrives.
Still with us? Let's take a moment to catch our breath. Okay, maybe we should recap. Hamlet is a mixed-up kid. His father is dead and may have been murdered by Claudius, Hamlet's uncle, and this guy is also married to Hamlet's mother. Okay, a ghost that may be his father tells him to avenge his murder. Hamlet hesitates, delays, puts it off, basically procrastinates. Then he stages this whole play thing and is certain Claudius kills his father. Hamlet doesn't kill him, though, because he sees him praying. Then he accidentally kills Polonius and gets sent away to England. Little does he know, he's to be killed when he lands. Got it?
Now a little bit of time passes. Hamlet sends letters to the royal court and to his buddy Horatio that basically say that his ship was captured by pirates, but that they let him go and he has returned to Denmark. He also writes that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern continued to England.
Meanwhile, unhinged by her father's death, Ophelia's behavior becomes more and more bizarre. Her brother, Laertes, is hopping mad. That's because Hamlet killed his father, Polonius, and Laertes wants revenge. Ah, another son who needs to avenge his father's murder. Claudius seizes on his anger and suggests a plot. Laertes will engage Hamlet in a supposedly friendly fencing match with blunt swords. But that Claudius, he's devious. He tells Laertes that he'll provide him with a sharp sword. And for good measure, Laertes says he will add poison to the tip. And as if that was not enough, Claudius will poison a glass of wine that he'll offer to Hamlet when the match has made him thirsty.
And to add insult to injury, word comes back that Ophelia has drowned in a stream outside the castle.
Act 5 begins near a cemetery. Seeing two gravediggers working on a fresh grave, Hamlet, now accompanied by Horatio, muses on deaths. The grave turns out to be Ophelia's, who, in her insanity, has drowned herself. As the funeral party approaches, Hamlet realizes whose graveside it is. He rushes forth and scuffles with Laertes. Claudius reminds Laertes that he will get his revenge, and everyone withdraws.
This is the big finish, so get out your scorecards. The bodies really pile up. At the fencing match that Claudius arranged, everyone pretends to be friends.
The co-conspirators carry out their plan. Laertes prepares his sword, and Claudius prepares the poison wine. Hamlet and Laertes begin dueling. The queen, toasting to Hamlet, drinks from the cup, not knowing it to be poisoned. Laertes wounds Hamlet with a deadly point, and in the confusion of the duel, their swords are exchanged. Hamlet then wounds Laertes with a poisoned saber. The queen, crying that she's been poisoned, falls and dies. Laertes, dying from his wound, reveals Claudius's wicked plot and tells Hamlet that they've both been mortally wounded. Hearing this, Hamlet stabs Claudius and makes him drink the poisoned wine. Claudius dies. Hamlet and Laertes forgive each other, and Laertes dies.
Horatio, examining the general carnage, wants to die by drinking the wine. Hamlet stops him so that his friend can live on and tell Hamlet's story.
Hamlet then dies, and Horatio eulogizes over his corpse. Finally, Fortinbras, he's the Prince of Norway, who also lost a father, enters, takes command of Denmark, and orders a military funeral for Hamlet. The end.
Oh yeah, P.S. Just to wrap up all the threads, word comes from England that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were executed.
Who's there? These words begin Shakespeare's Hamlet. It's fitting that the play should begin with a question, for Hamlet is a play of questions, a wonderfully enigmatic riddle of a play.
Written around 1600, Hamlet is not only Shakespeare's most famous work, it's probably the most famous work of literature in the Western world. As such, it may have been studied more than anything written, except the Bible.
And that's a tad intimidating. But there are a few observations we can make about the play that will help us understand it and its unending popularity. We'll look at mystery, Hamlet's character, philosophy, revenge, and, of course, tragedy. But where will we begin? How about mystery?
Section B. Mystery. Boo.
Who's there? Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself. Long live the king! Bernardo, he.
So opens Hamlet. Now, notice that the who's there is spoken by the relief sentinel, Bernardo, as he approaches his post. But he knows where he's going and supposedly who he's going to meet. So why does he ask who's there? Well, little by little, we find out that these guys fear the appearance of the ghost.
And another mystery, what about that freaky ghost? Who or what is the spirit? Is it the ghost of Hamlet's father? If so, why is it still walking on the earth? It says it was murdered by his brother, but the question is, can it be trusted, or will the ghost trick Hamlet?
After Hamlet encounters the ghost, the young prince asks his companions to swear silence about what they have seen and about any fake madness Hamlet might adopt, which he calls an antic disposition. Excuse me? Do you go up to your buddies and say, I'm going to pretend to go off the deep end for a couple of weeks, but don't tell anybody? The answers to all these questions, who's there, what's there, what happened, what will happen, and is Hamlet a crazy loon or not, will unfold over the next 5 acts. In fact, this unfolding is the play itself. It's a play of questions.
First, the spying. Polonius gets this guy Rinaldo to spy on his son Laertes. Claudius and Polonius spy on Hamlet. Hamlet's old friends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern check up on him secretly. Hamlet has a play of murder mounted to surreptitiously watch Claudius's reaction. Doesn't anybody trust anybody in Denmark? And if not, why not?
Hovering over the entire play are all of these questions about Hamlet's father's death. Like, did Claudius, the current king, have anything to do with it? And if so, is Hamlet going to do anything about it? And if he is, when? Right now? Never? Who knows?
Maybe if we dig into the character of this Hamlet guy, we'll get a better handle on the play.
Section C. Hamlet's character.
Hamlet dominates the entire play, so if we can begin to understand him, we can begin to understand the play. Shakespeare gives us a clue here on how to do it. Each of the other major characters is a foil to Hamlet. In this way, Shakespeare sets up a series of oppositions, Hamlet on one side and another character on the other. That is,
for Hamlet's clever and perceptive wit, we have the thick-headedness of Polonius. Hamlet is honest. Claudius is dishonest. Hamlet displays decency. Gertrude displays impropriety. Hamlet has emotional strength, while Ophelia has emotional weakness. Hamlet is a man of thought. Fortinbras is a man of action. Hamlet has scruples. Laertes is unscrupulous. And finally, Hamlet has an uncompromising moral character, as opposed to almost everyone else, except his best friend Horatio, who compromised their moral character.
For just one example, let's take a look at the guy who has the king's ear, the meddlesome Polonius. Well, he's kind of a gas bag. You should check out his speech in Act 1, Scene 3. It's his fatherly advice to Laertes. Some of it is good, like the famous line, "This above all, to thine own self be true." But man, does he go on and on and on with his so-called wisdom.
Hamlet, though, is a bit more brief in his wit. In Act 2, Scene 2, he turns this wit on Polonius himself.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slanders, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hands.
And there's Fortinbras, the Prince of Norway, whose presence is felt in the background throughout the play. He's a contrast to Hamlet, too. Fortinbras is a man of action. In Act 4, Scene 4, he leads 20,000 men into battle for a small sliver of land in Poland. Hamlet is amazed that Fortinbras can be so bold, all over what he calls a little patch of ground and an eggshell.
But Hamlet is a man of thought. Throughout the play, he ruminates on life, death, and revenge.
So we have all these contrasts with Hamlet. Claudius, Gertrude, Polonius, Ophelia, Laertes, and Fortinbras, which sets him off in high relief and helps us understand his character better.
So all these other characters allow Hamlet to display a full range of human emotions: anger, wisdom, wit, indignation, love, irony, humor, reflection, hurt, loyalty, creativity, courage, impetuosity, skepticism, vengeance, sentimentality, melancholy, impatience, spirituality. In short, Hamlet is as human as any character in a play can be. That's a lot of emotions for one guy. I'm either happy or sad.
That's one reason why Hamlet is so popular. Prince Hamlet is such an endlessly fascinating character that everyone's interpretation is different. We can look at Hamlet and see ourselves. But what I see in him may not be what you see in him.
Like any good character, Hamlet changes throughout the play. In Act 1, Scene 2, we see him as an angry young man depressed about the things life has dumped on him.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Oh, that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God, God.
Hamlet is not a happy camper. He's basically hoping that life ends, that his defiled body, the too sallied flesh, will just sort of disintegrate, melt into a dew. But Hamlet is conflicted. He knows that it's immoral to commit suicide, though he wishes it wasn't. That's what he means by the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter.
In Act 2, Hamlet's overall outlook may be despondent, but he does recognize humankind's potential.
What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties. In form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world. The paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust?
These are all the things Hamlet believes humankind potentially to be. A wonderful piece of work, knowledgeable, infinite in intelligence, commendable in achievements, a god, the beauty of the world, and the highest level of being. But what Hamlet finds in the world of Denmark is so far removed from this ideal that he feels that humankind is nothing but dust.
If we want to get an idea of how Hamlet sees himself, and how he has changed over the course of the play, we can take a look at the beginning of Act 5, Scene 2. Hamlet recounts how on the ship to England, he switched the execution orders from his name to those of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Rashly, and praised be rashness for it. Let us know. Our indiscretion sometimes serves us well when our deep plots do pall. And that should learn us. There's a divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hew them how we will.
These lines can tell us a lot about Hamlet's character. He admits he was conflicted. He says, "In my heart there was a kind of fighting." But he understands there's a purpose in human life, despite our frequent inclination to avoid it. There's a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will.
So as the play nears its end, the prince has become a contemplative and peaceful person, as we see later in the same scene.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all.
Hamlet sees the hand of providence in every event, no matter how small. He's content to let what will happen happen, but he is prepared. As he said, the readiness is all. Let be.
Okay, we've spoken of two important elements in the play Hamlet. 1, mystery and intrigue, and 2, the character of Hamlet. Now let's look at our third element for understanding Hamlet, philosophy.
Section D, philosophy.
The word philosophy comes from two Greek words meaning love and wisdom. So it follows that philosophy is the love of wisdom. Check it out, y'all.
Well, that's a start. Philosophy asks those deep questions like, what is the meaning of life? How much can man know? Is the sushi fresh?
Shakespeare doesn't offer us one overall philosophy in Hamlet. Instead, he raises several philosophical questions, but he doesn't provide the answers. Three of the main questions of Hamlet are, how does moral man live in a corrupt world? How does intelligence and sensitivity coexist with the pain and suffering of the world? And death. As in, what is the meaning of death?
The first philosophical question is, how does moral man exist in an immoral world? We've already said that Hamlet, ever struggling with what is right and wrong, lives in a world where almost everyone else avoids that struggle. But Hamlet struggles against the immoral, the deceitful, and the disloyal because he wants to live with honesty and integrity. So, not surprisingly, Hamlet is a little perturbed with the world he sees around him, which he feels to be dangerous and suspect.
Oh God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it, fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this.
The second philosophical question of Hamlet is, how does an intelligent, sensitive individual coexist with great pain and suffering?
Hamlet goes through a lot. He has lost his father. He found out his mother, because of her hasty remarriage, was corrupt. His friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, are disloyal. His beloved, Ophelia, is used against him, then commits suicide. Not an uplifting winter.
The young prince rails against such conditions, but near the end he realizes that human beings can endure the sufferings of the world, or even that Providence has a hand in it all. As he says to Horatio right before the duel with Laertes, the readiness is all, let be.
The third philosophical question Hamlet raises is the question of death. There's no shortage of death in this play, and it comes in many forms.
The spirit of the dead king walks the earth. Hamlet contemplates suicide. The prince kills the meddling Polonius. Actors mount a play of murder. Ophelia dies in madness. Hamlet, through a trick, has Rosencrantz and Guildenstern executed. Hamlet ponders death in a cemetery. And three sons, Hamlet, Fortinbras, and Laertes. Each must decide how to respond to his father's death. And the last scene, forget it. It's got dead bodies all over the place. From Act 3, Scene 1, here's Hamlet's most famous soliloquy, which in part concerns suicide and death.
To be or not to be, that is the question. But it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them, to die, to sleep. No more. By sleep, to say that we end the heartache, 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly bewished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.